Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome to today's Bitcoin update for Sunday 6th of March. And here we are. Let's talk about Bitcoin and the potential play that is about to happen. Now, there's a little bit of an issue with Bitcoin, of course, and I do want to address this issue that potentially, we have to be very, very, very careful of one thing on the 4-hour time frame here, and that's a threat of a bear flag. Okay, so the way you came down here, you bounced off this area and you're just climbing a little bit like this. You can see it's a very, very clear sign that Bitcoin is trying to put a bear flag potentially. And we do know one thing on the daily is that we do have these three black crows as well. And yeah, so there are two things that are actually very, very negative at this point of time, but Bitcoin hasn't broken out of a bear flag just yet. And I told you yesterday some ethics regarding candlestick reading that if you see a negative bearish candlestick near the support line, then it could actually be meaningless. This could be absolutely meaningless, and you might not see Bitcoin actually going down unless you really don't start to lose 30. If you do go to $38,000 today, then that's a very big, red flag. So be careful if we start to go to $38,000, then in my opinion it's gonna flow to the downside. And let's say right now at least you still haven't broken out of a potential bear flag, and you don't want to actually see Bitcoin making the bear flag. So let's say it does come to play, because you have to consider the bear flag. So you take the top to the bottom, and this is where you break out. So you're gonna see Bitcoin actually going all the way down to 34,039. That's actually gonna be the issue with the bear flag, right? So unless it doesn't do that, unless it doesn't, it just remains normal, then we're gonna be okay. And trust me, bear flags always work. I told you here when it came down, all right, on the 1 hour time frame, made one bear flag, and I was calling for 37,000. We did that. It made a bearish rectangle just like this. It broke out, and then it went to $35,000, which I was giving you the technical targets previously. We did that. Now again, it's not fancy. It's not a secret that if you do start to make a bear flag, and then you start to break out of it, and then you push to the downside, then you are going to go to $34,000, just as the technical target out of it. Now, unless you don't really do that, you're still safe, you're still fine, and that's something you don't want to see. But I don't think Bitcoin is gonna do something like this. I'm still doubtful that it can do that, but I'm gonna tell you some resistances in here as well. So we did have this inverse head and shoulder, left shoulder. This was your head, this was your right shoulder, right? So what you did is you broke out of this neckline right there, and now you're below the neckline once again. So you actually nearly met the technical target. So the top here to the bottom right there, you broke out of here, and it just went all the way to the upside. No, it didn't even reach all the way to the technical target, just a little bit short from the main technical target. And then what happened? What I wanted to see for Bitcoin basically is it went up like this, came down, right? And I wanted to the Bitcoin to hold 39,759, but it went even below the neckline. So the question is, can this actually manage to go above the neckline and start to move to the upside? Because that's what you want to see. And on the daily, there's one resistance as well. I want to show you this resistance. So number one resistance was that neckline over there. The second one is the 10 EMA. Of course, you are being restricted at the 10 EMA, and it's not looking quite favorable. It's nearly trying to actually almost reach this place. So if you do go to $40,000, that would be amazing. But I'm highly doubtful that Bitcoin is gonna dump. The reason why I think this dump might not happen, if we do start to break out of things, of course I'm gonna bring another critical update telling you that we lost the support level just as before. But the thing is, what I'm trying to see, what I noticed is something very positive on the weekly, because you see, I always say this: the smaller time frame are good, but the higher time frame the better. Do you understand that? The more higher time frame you go to is good. Even the 4 hour is kind of making that bear flag, as we spoke about. The daily has a three black rows, and you also are being resisted. Now they always do this. Okay, the whales, they are always going to do this. They're always going to give you both the scenarios. I mean, it's not even me. This is just like how the charts are working. Nowadays, I don't know why. I don't. Previously, they didn't used to give you like two things at the same time. It used to be a very clear answer that you're gonna go up or down. But nowadays, I don't know. It's kind of weird how they managed to step up their game and they give you a bearish pattern and then a bullish pattern as well. Now, what is the positive side about this one? You're still finding support right there. You didn't lose this support, okay? You haven't lost it. Even if you lost it, you're not closing below it. And that's one thing to notice about. Another thing to talk about is on the weekly time frame. And as I told you, the higher time frame, the better. So what you see here on the weekly is an inverted hammer, which is actually bullish. Okay, so inverted hammer, and you have a morning star, and you have an inverted hammer right there. So these are bullish candlestick patterns. So let's do Google for the inverted hammer as well, and this is what I want to talk about. So inverted hammer, and this is what can save the day. So today, 6th of March, is gonna be a very big answer, a really really big answer. It might even have to bring another critical update for Bitcoin as well. So you have 21 more hours to close this week time frame. Let me open up Bitcoin in a clear chart right now. Basically anywhere, this is gonna work. Oh, do you see how weird this is? The Binance candlestick looks like an inverted hammer, and on the Huobi it looks like a decisive candle and not even an inverted hammer. Guys, this market, man, it's gonna drive me crazy one day. Do you see that? Just look at that. Okay, in one place it looks like an inverted hammer. On the other side, it's looking like a decisive doji. But I'm actually gonna believe that this is an inverted hammer. Let's say it is an inverted hammer as the looks of things. Then there's a possibility that we start to move to the upside, because inverted hammers are actually kind of bullish pattern, and they're positive. They actually tell you that you can shoot to the upside. So this is what you see. You can already see you had an inverted hammer down here, and then the next candles were moving to the upside. So we're gonna get two our answers right now from Bitcoin today. Today is a very important day. Like, the closing of this week is gonna determine the direction of next week potentially. So the bear flag on the 4 hour time frame, or a potential inverted hammer on the weekly, who's gonna win? Again, it's always gonna be bears versus the bulls. So that's just analysis, okay? This is the analysis that I've brought. At this point of time, there's no confirmation. You haven't broke out of a bear flag, potential bear flag. It's not confirmed just yet. And you're not losing support of the ascending triangle, right? You're not losing support to go down. You're still safe. And on the weekly as well, you still have inverted hammer on the weekly. You also have this morning star. And I'm really wondering if the Heiken and Ashi are bullish or not. Okay, all right, here we are. The Heiken and Ashi actually is decisive, okay? And always look at the Heiken and Ashi. It's really important to look at the Heiken and Ashi, because what they do is they filter out the noises. So what you saw right there, but this still looks, doesn't look like an no, this is not a decisive doji. That is almost an inverted hammer, because you still have longer upper shadow, because a doji is almost looks like a plus. This still has a very long shadow up above it. Still qualifies to be an inverted hammer. But the thing is, the Heiken Ashi right now isn't still bullish. It's not even bearish at this point of time. It seems like there's nothing too much going on with the Heikin Ashi, and you do know that bullish looks like this one. Okay, no wicks to the downside. This is bullish, bullish, bullish. This was decisive, and look what happened. You went down, right? So there's a little bit of an issue. There's a little bit of clarity issues. We're not clear what's going on right now. We're still not clear. And look at this. Even the Heikin Ashi right now in here, it's printing a little bit of bullish candles, so that's good. You still have some green candles over here. That's amazing, unless we don't start to get a red candle and then you start to move to the downside and break out of this potential bear flag. You can see how clear potential bear flag it's about to make, but it's still once again meaningless if you're making that bear flag near the support, or you're just trying to do something near support. It doesn't really work. The bearish patterns can be invalidated when you're reaching the support level of any coin. I just want to go back again into the Bitcoin chart here, and yep, inverted hammer. Yep, so you do have 21 hours, 22 hours more. We need an answer, and we need an answer today, in today's um, candlesticks on the 4 hour time frame. If you start to break out of the bear flag and lose the ascending triangle, and you start to go to 38,000 all of a sudden, then understand that it's gonna snap to 34,000. I'm just gonna tell you straight away. Otherwise, if it still maintains its level near the $40,000, you're gonna see this thing next week potentially start again to move to the upside, and that's what I want to see. A lot of coins are falling on the support as well. A lot of coins are losing support too. It's a crazy market right now. It's really, really a crazy volatile market. But anyway, the harder the trade, the more fun I'm gonna have in the learning phase, and for you as well. And that's it for this update. I'm gonna see you with the next one. Allah Hafiz.